There is more to the Mojave Desert than just heat and landscapes. It's huge. It's dry. It is quiet. Additionally, it conceals items that have never been described. Throughout the years, individuals have vanished. Equipment has failed. There have been noises when none there was one, and buildings have showed up in places they shouldn't have. In this series, the 8 most unsettling instances, authentic accounts, recorded data, and phenomena that defy reasoning. Some continue to attempt explanations, but no one has provided closure. Prior to our start, encourage the channel and leave a like and subscribe. That's what enables us to proceed with the upcoming cases and go farther. We appreciate your subscription. Let's get started. The Cave Kenny vs. Disappearance. The cave nobody else was discovered. In November 2014, Kenny hiked through the Mojave Desert. He informed his relatives that it would be a brief stroll. He never returned. Kenny was seasoned. He was familiar with the desert. He was always carrying equipment. He traveled to far-off regions. He had a YouTube account on which he posted his journeys. One of the videos shows him as an oddity, a cave with an M-shaped entryway. He stated that while he sensed a vibration as he got closer, his body started to shake. He heard a deep noise from within. He didn't come on in. He returned home. Later on, he made the decision to go back. He said he would make a movie of it. He desired to document and reveal the cave and what was present. In November, he departed on the 10th. No one ever saw him again. Days later, his phone was located. It was turned on in the area close to a mine that has been abandoned. No traces, indications of struggle. There was nothing else discovered. Search parties searched for several days. Volunteers, no body, no hints, no helicopters. The cavern disappeared as well. Not even the casual coordinates were helpful. There was no M-shaped cave found, nor by professionals, nor by citizens. All that's left is both the account and the video. Intensive bodily feeling, uncontrollable shaking, buzzing at low frequencies, pressure in the chest, as well as the assurance that anything was incorrect. Kenny reportedly fell. Others think he was a victim of the environment. However, the absence of evidence and the closeness to Area 51 and Nellis Air Force Base encourage further possibilities. The potential for disruption, seclusion, and muting. He pledged to demonstrate what he noticed and disappeared before he could. The M cave was never located, not by unmanned aerial vehicles, not by hikers. Whatever he came upon remained not a trace. The digital record is the only remembrance and the complete lack of justification. The Yucca Man, the man from Yucca. The person who doesn't wish to be located. Desert of Mojave. Arid landscape. Empty. Hostile. However, not all of it is deceased. Since 1971, a figure bipedal has been reported by locals. Big and dark head. Initially California, 29 Palms, recorded case. A soldier reported that there was movement amid the yucca plants. He believed it to be an animal, but it was too tall. It lacked the quadruped's gait. It didn't act like a person. The name appeared later. What a jerk. There are occasional reports, but steady. Area, southern Arizona, California, and portions of Nevada. Rock formations in the area of occurrence. No highways, close to military installations. The traits remain the same. Between 2 and 3 meters tall, long steps, footprints longer than 40 centimeters, thick hair, a mask over the face. At night, witnesses report no echo, no howling, and respond with brief, isolated noises. In certain instances, the noises are succeeded by growls, followed by quiet. Teams of hikers have discovered deep footprints devoid of any imprints, entering or leaving, solitary footsteps, no negative impressions, as though the object was there, and then no longer was. In 2006, one of the trekkers saw something amid amboy craters tall, motionless rocks still for more than a minute. As soon as one of them attempted to approach, he fell. He claimed to have felt a blow on his chest. No mark, no sound, no touch. The camera he carried ceased to function. Not one reliable recordings. The video trembles, gets hazy, or disappears. The design repetitions, unknown noises, the feeling of being observed. Unexpected quiet, fleeting glimpses, an impossibility disappearances. It's considered a legend by some. Others claim that it's an instance of identity. However, those who witnessed it firsthand avoid attempting to explain. They simply stay away from returning. Although the desert is huge, sometimes it's sufficient to conceal just one item, and that item doesn't wish to be located. Unknown lights and things, unknown lights and items. What the sky of Mojave is obscured. There is amazing visibility in the Mojave Desert at night. No pollution, no city lights, no meddling. That's why what shows up seen in the sky, though not always I got it. Residents since the 1950s, drivers, as well as military personnel, have revealed the same trend. Lights that move too quickly, silently, and without trails, shifting course without reducing speed. The majority of cases close to military installations, Nellis Air, Area 51, restricted access to the force base facilities. In 1989, 2 people were camping at a far-off place. They stated there are 9 dazzling, white objects in the sky. A circle was made by them. Then they came to a halt. When the couple spotted tall, red-eyed, expressionless, and immobile, they were struck by intense light. They were defeated of awareness. After a few hours, they were in the same location. No wounds, no obvious recall. While hypnotized, they remembered pieces, vertical motion, and a hefty feeling in the chest, a persistent high-pitched noise. There was no proof, no tangible proof, but the reports continue. Alternatively, the lights do not appear out of thin air. They originate from the earth, traversing the surface, also too quick to be flashlights, arranged to resemble natural events. Scholars attempt to link them to tectonic plate movement, gases, but the geological anomalies are not detected by sensors. A few lights keep coming up in the same locations, same times, similar trends. Triangular formations are described in reports, 3 points of white. Changes in altitude in seconds. No known aircraft carry out such actions. Drones don't have such range. Mobile phone footage frequently fails. It gets warped or is removed from the memory of the device. Sound high-frequency noise is captured in recordings that originates internally. It arrives from the actual microphone, as though it were grabbing anything from within. The lights are always present in the same sky, over the same desert every time. There is never an explanation. Calico, the website that didn't want to be Calico, dug up. The truth is rejected in some places. Others bury it deep enough that excavating is an error. There is no name for Calico. It's a caution. Midway through the Mojave Desert, the earth has a cleft, an open wound. In 1964, it was dug up by Louis Leakey as the most well-known figure in paleoanthropology. He thought he had discovered human implements that are 200,000 years old, that would ruin all we know regarding the Americas settlement. And he was silenced for that reason. Scholars made fun of him. The funding was cut, research hidden. However, he wasn't discredited due to a mistake. It was due to fear, due of Calico's disclosure, something that ought not to have been there, and it might not have been agitated. Visitors to the website explain a piece of equipment failing. Cameras turn off away. GPS malfunctions. The sound stops. No interference is present. There is refusal, as though the earth were unwilling to capture it. There have been accounts of physical symptoms. Throwing up, dizziness, pressure. However, the most frightening thing is not the body. It's the brain. The sensation of being watched. Not from above, but from beneath, as though the earth were paying attention. A former field worker heard someone knocking at night. 3 slow, rhythmic knocks similar to a living thing's heartbeat breathing under the stones. In 1987, something was visible standing at the edge of the trench. It remained still. There was no shadow. As they got closer, it disappeared, but it left traces. They descended into the excavation and vanished. In 2001, an investigator employed ground-penetrating radar. He anticipated seeing pictures from underground. He saw a black screen with no way to go back signal, as though the ground didn't exist, only void. Before leaving, he wrote the undertaking. What's buried isn't that's what's awake. According to some, the Calico humans did not create tools. Others claim that they were. However, the hands weren't not from now, nor from here. Leakey didn't locate artifacts. He discovered a wall, and he attempted to penetrate it. Given that, consequently, the excavation has not grown, however, something inside of it is still operating. Some guests claim to have heard their own name, but without speaking, with pressure, within the brain in time with the raps. There is just no explanation. The fact that calico is undoubtedly not in use. It's waiting. Additionally, the query without a response. If it was just stone, so why did the entire planet wish for us to forget? The Joshua tree, the tree of Joshua, the man who never went away the limb. In National Park Joshua Tree, there is a tree. It doesn't stand out visually from everyone else, but documents, and it is always mentioned in accounts. The same tree, the identical spot, 1 year later. Residents of the area claim that a man was hanged there. The precise day was never verified, and the name wasn't either. But decades have passed since the story was first told. According to reports, the body was discovered near the end of a trail, suspended. No message, no identification, no eyewitnesses. The tree was never taken down. It remained in place, never labeled. However, those who camp in the region report the similar trend. At night, a sensation of dry footsteps among the rocks of intimacy, a person next to the tree. Images captured reveal a still absence for a few seconds, then silhouette. No movement noise, no disruption in the environment. Cameras installed by inquisitive guests were unsuccessful or documented static. 4 seconds are shown in a 2011 recording of video taken at night. Something goes by from the lenses left to right, not producing any heat or shadow. A camping with a family 300 meters from the tree heard faint sounds of labored respiration early in the morning. They proceeded to verify. Nothing. But when they got back, they discovered that the tent zipper was open. There was nothing captured. Unprofessional investigators who attempted to investigate the site's alleged confusion, feeling dizzy, the perception of being pursued. Joshua trees are known to contorted shapes. This one specifically, the higher branches are twisted at unattainable angles, such as arms fixed in a fixed location. The trail is avoided by locals that results in it. Park guides don't formally discuss the story, but they also don't dispute it. It's an open space. Those who enter sense it even if there is no warning. The trail continues. There is the tree. Perhaps the man still is. The desert's lost ship, the desert's lost ship. One galleon without a sea. More than 100 years have seen reports of a ship that is not in the water desert. California's Mojave, as stated by it, is a Spanish galleon, according to oral stories. Dark wooden building, with the mast remaining upright, the dry air cracking the hulls, purportedly brimming with gold and pearls. According to the most often used version, the ship got stuck during a prehistoric flood. In the past, a portion of the desert was an inland sea, after which the water disappeared. However, the ship was still there. Since 1870, the hunt being carried out. No verified picture, no artifacts were found, only explanations. Several prospectors reported seeing charred timber in 1915, west of the enormous corroded nails, Salton Sea. Days after their homecoming, later, it vanished. No drag was present. Traces or indications of damage. The region seemed unaltered. 1933 saw a civilian, a hole-shaped silhouette was detected by the pilot. Thrown at dawn on the desert floor. There were no shadows or tracks in the area. The plane was unable to find the location again. In 1990, her documentary crew carried out radar scans that penetrate the ground. They identified a high-density oval form 2.m below the surface. They didn't dig a hole. The apparatus malfunctioned twice later. The compass they described was inexplicable issues and indications of internal heating in the ground. According to skeptics, it is a mirage that individuals see what they desire to see and that the pursuit of riches in the midst of illusions are produced by desperation. However, there are still reports. The coordinates change. However, the object remains constant. No, it has been documented. Nobody has touched it. However, nobody forgets. The vessel is present or ought to be in collective memory, either in the sand or the emptiness between two objects. Hill of Sentinel, Mount Sentinel. The monument that wasn't intended to be located. Midway through the Mojave Preserve, A hill stands sentinel, dry, and desolate hill. No name or sign, but those who never forget it. At the summit, there is a tall, dark stone building that no aging symptoms, no cracks, and no known origin, no documentation, no plans, and no justification. However, it is present. The route to it diminishes. Trails dissipate. The GPS rotates. The wind blows coming from every side. Temperature clouds-free drops as though the hill has a chilly breath. Glenn Harrove in 2004, an amateur historian, made an effort to record it. He snapped pictures and posted. The final first, I succeeded. It's larger than our idea. It feels like it sees me. Following that, nothing. He vanished. They discovered his vehicle locked from the inside out. There are keys on the seat. There are 4 words written in the dust on the windshield. It wasn't intended to be located. Recovered audio recording. Dry footsteps. It's all static. Next, a voice. Low. Unambiguous. You ought not to have observed. The building appears to be a pillar. However, its angles are not repeated. The forms when you're not looking. Things shift. This is reported by witnesses. And still more quiet distortion. Heartbeat from the sink as though lengths of time. Midday. The pillar doesn't cast any shadow. Nothing grows nearby it. Only earth, no lichen, no ants. Dead. A magnetometer was utilized by a researcher. The data fell and soared. No trend, no reasoning. The stones seemed to be attempting to talk. When she heard her name, she ran. She was by herself behind her. According to some, was not constructed. It was abandoned. Others who it was not abandoned. It came out. A fixed point in a moving object. That's a local's words just before he disappeared. It doesn't observe. It waits. Photographs are ineffective. Videos are corrupted. Pictures tremble as though the location declines to be displayed. A drone took a picture of a person standing next to the building. 3. No shadow for a few seconds. Then it was gone. No cut without a change. Hill of Sentinel does not show up on maps, yet it does in the mind. I-40 nighttime drivers claim they observe a shadowy area atop a hill, still in opposition to the sky, as a warning or an invitation, depending on who is looking, as well as who is being observed. Road ZYZXX. The route that never returns is ZYZX. You are the same. In the desert of California, between Barasto and the empty space, there's a way out. ZZX Road. The name is irrelevant. What occurs later? Do you enter the radio shifts? Simply put, no static voices that overlap. Metallic sand source. The GPS stops working. Time appears to put an end to it. You spend minutes driving that don't finish. Just a road with no reference or signal. There are buildings at its end. Forgotten, but without any dust on the surfaces. Doors and chairs pushed out closed. Clocks with moving hands, each displaying a different time. In 2007, a scientist put motion sensors in the bed of the dried lake. They didn't record anything. However, the video displayed lateral shadows. Motion, with no obvious source. The biologist departed from the project. He composed one phrase, "There's something here that hears us." A dashcam footage reveals a figure positioned in the center of the road. Head tilted, back turned. It doesn't move but vanishes in the following frame. No sound, no cut. Drivers converse regarding lights emanating from below ground, blue, sporadic, and traveling in a straight line under the road. A few report time lost. They are late, without understanding why. Clocks that are delayed, no time markings, batteries fully charged. A geologist went into the structures in 2015. He claimed that the noises simply stopped following the door. No internal echo sound. White noise was captured by the recorder. Pauses, followed by a pattern. He departed from the constructing after listening to his own voice behind him. There was nobody else. A form was visible in thermal drone photos, standing in the arid lake. High warmth, absence of shadows, and absence of imprints. The account and the file were removed, taken out. According to locals, once a year the road is blocked. No building, no explanations, just warnings. ZZX Road is not all of the information on the map, but map that ought to be accessed. The query is not what exists, Will you get out of the way you came in? If you've reached this point, you realize that this is not a work of fiction. These consist of documents, files, testimonies, and they continue to surface. In future episodes, we'll depart from the desert. Not the darkness, though. There's more. Where would you like to open? What comes next? We'll leave after you say the name. However, don't ask to forget after that. If this impacted you, give the channel support and depart like, subscribe, and activate alerts. That's what maintains the files become accessible. Because of this, we are able to proceed and delve farther because some of them are waiting in Aries. It's like waiting for a long time.